Hi, I'm Atdhe. Over this video demonstration, I'm going to try to show within an Autopsy how we would locate and navigate the IoT forensics artifacts, evidences. So we might end up acquiring those kind of images from those devices and those systems that would be having this implementation of IoTs. And let's see how we're going to do this in an easy way and a very convenient one so that all of you that using digital forensics tools use an Autopsy for further investigating and analyzing whatever would be in all those images, captured, acquired evidence files that you are investigating. Keep in mind, all the time, work on the copies of those, not on the original file. Why is that? Because whatever you would mess up with that copy file, you would have a chance in going back to those original ones that you would be capturing again, make a copy of it. So let's do it. So here I have a case of the test case IoT forensics, and I'm using an image file that I acquired for demonstration and educational purposes. So that would be the image file that has this structure. So in this image file, there is an IoT sensor device that is using MQTT protocol to communicate with the broker and the gateway and with the rest of infrastructure, pushing data towards their cloud environment. But of course, on the beginning, the data would be hitting and would be stored within a broker gateway where a certain type of file system has been used to capture those. And let's investigate. So how are we going to do? So we're going to use something like keyword search that will help us to search for those keywords of interest that we would have. So we would have potentially a list of keywords that would be our interest. On every digital forensic case, we might be having some that for example, in this case, since we know that it's an IoT, let's just look up for IoT. Then you could have those options of exact match or substring match or regular expression, whatever it would be. And the whole this search would be done with this data source, this IoT device image file. And I'm going to just search, and that would show us something related to IoT keywords. And whenever you do the searching on the keywords, if you go on the tree pane there on the left side, you would have here analysis results and keywords that was hit by this search. And those keywords would be the keywords that we already use, so single literal keyword search that would be showing us IoT in those four lists, and files with the hits would be 4 on the IoT, Mosquito 4, PI 3, so that would be all. And whenever you want to further investigate one or the other, you would see that. You would have the source of this IoT keyword search that we search all over this image file, and that would show to you. And down in the bottom of this pane, of this whole Autopsy window, you would see what was happening, what's the text within that. Or if you wanted to further hex view, you would be able to have that ASCII code and the hex view that you would be investigate further. If you want file metadata, you would have it here. So the file metadata would be here. We know that file metadata are valuable insights whenever we investigate particular files and we want to know about the MACB, modified access change, or birth, or whenever the file is created. And we want to find a certain timestamp that we are after, and that timestamp would be related to the certain file that would represent some kind of content and the metadata of it. So this way we would be able to look for those keyword search. Let's try another keyword search that will be, for example, in this case, since we know that we figured it out that was MQTT protocol that is used, let's try a substring match. Maybe that would show something. So it will show us the logs and configuration file of that whole gateway and broker that is collecting all those data from the IoT devices. So those would be forensic artifacts that would help us further. And whenever we know the configuration, we know what would be the operating system and the whole IP addresses and the port and the services that is running within this gateway and broker. And we are seeing that there is a topic. So MQTT would work in that way, publisher, subscriber, and you would have all the time things organized within a topic. So a topic IoT would be a publisher that is publishing, is opening to the IoT sensor, so they would subscribe to this topic and would send data. So in this case, device 1 was one of the IoT sensors. And what else? What else keywords that we can use? We can use, for example, token, if we are after tokens. So there is not so much on token. PI, so that was something that we saw. So PI would be a file that would be included on PI file that would be sitting on this location. So this would be the image file on the home path. PI, that would be the path that if we want to investigate further, we might be seeing this PI on the configuration file of the broker on authentication. So what would mean authentication? So that might mean that a user PI was accessed as a root within this gateway and broker that it is IP, and is using SSH, and what used with the purpose of starting this whole Mosquito. Mosquito is that broker that uses MQTT protocol, a Mosquito server and service that is running this whole protocol and make available to the rest of the IoT sensors within that IoT system infrastructure to subscribe to the published topics. So this was one of the ways that we would be able to do. And then next, further, whatever you want to have as a part of your reports, you would go generate report, and then you would have all those data within one simple report in the format that you want to have. And if for any particular reason for those keywords that we found, for example, this authentication, we want to tag for follow-up or as a node that was something, you would right-click, add file tag, and then you would bookmark or notable item, and that would be just bringing us to the tag. So if you look on the tree pane on the left side, you would have all the tags that you tag. So this would be a file tag that is tagged for further analysis. If you wanted to save this, you would be able to export that one, selected rows to CSV, so that would be exporting the whole content of this one. And this would be an evidence extracted from this image file that will be included within a report of our investigation. And whenever you want to generate a report and you want to have all those what you did, so whenever you go to the tab, to this tab when it says configure the report, then you would have something about the tags that results. I wanted to include all those tags within my report, so whenever I would be looking at the report, I would know that I tagged something as a notable item that would be valuable for my investigation. So you would know that one, and whenever you want to open, that would open the report, and the tag files would be here, and you would be clicking, and then you would be finding the file, the content of this file that would be represented as an notable evidence for us. So that was all for the investigation and finding an important artifacts over using keyword search and some keywords that would be our interest for our investigation within IoT forensics.